So next one's about angles in triangles, and we need to work out the angles A, B and C. But guys, I'm going to record this so that you've got notes. You should be listening as well. Don't always assume that the angles A, B, C can be found in that order, but this case it can. Sometimes it's worth jumping around. You might be able to solve by finding one of the later angles first. The best technique for doing this is fill in what you know just looking at them, and if you look at this triangle at the bottom, we've got two angles. They add up. 90 and 40 makes 130. I must have another 50. Just by thinking that, I've actually just done this first one. So A is equal to 50 degrees because of angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. I've just shown you the very minimum explanation if they ask for it. They're not asking for it in this case, so I just have to write 50 in the box. B, what's the situation for B? Artem?
These both circles, or these both triangles, they add up to 180, so B should be 130.
It's not triangles, this is a line.
Yeah, line.
So B is 130 degrees because angles on straight line make 180 degrees. There is another one reason for this that's sometimes quoted. The exterior angle on a triangle is equal to the sum of the opposite two interior angles. It's linking both these things together. It does work, but it's a special case that we don't often teach because it only works for triangles. It's not more general. So I've now got B is 130 degrees. So we're now left with C at the top, which is 30. 130 plus my 30 is 160. So this is 20 degrees again. So those two make 160. Angles in a triangle again. C, angles in a triangle. Notice the notes. They can say, if you are asked to describe, you can't just get away with saying angles in a triangle. You must say are equal to 180 in some form. That is acceptable. I am using standard notes, so people would understand what that is. Okay. Question number 7. Simple equation. First step.
I know.
Steps.
Step.
Go on.
+1. We need to transport to the other side.
Yeah. What happens?
Which will it will be
Swaps to
-1.
-1. We're subtracting 1 from both sides. I sometimes show arrows, but yeah, we're subtracting 1 from both sides, so it disappears from here. We've got 3y equals 15. What's the opposite of this 3y bit then?
Y equals, so it was
Divide by 3. Yeah, it's 5. Okay, second one. Even though the k's on the funny place, you can leave it where it is. Because this is an equals, you can leave it where it is. If you were doing inequalities and they wanted an answer down here, you can swap the k round as long as you turn the sign round with it as well. So with this one, first step is
18 minus 6.
yeah, which is 12, and that's 4k. Thomas, I hope you're keeping these things together, not doing the separation out that you did before.
Russian method.
It's not a Russian method, it is a half method.
If it works, it's still correct.
Unfortunately, the way you do it, if you keep separating out, I'm going to subtract 12 minus 6, and you keep doing it as a separate calculation, sometimes people lose signs, and that's where they make mistakes. Thomas, okay, just bear in mind, there's a reason why I'm asking you to make sure you do these two things as one line. Okay, so k equals 3. Number 8. Got to do a multiplication with this one. Long multiplication. I would probably say I am going to multiply by the 23. It's not worth multiplying by 374. So write 374 times 23. Remember, I do a funny thing with my carries that I keep them inside the box in the sum area. I don't put them above, which some of you will. If you do that, that's fine. Just don't let yourself get confused. So we get 3 times 4, 12, carry 1 into the next column. 3 times 7 is 21. I can leave that 1 there, or I can add it into the 21. I'm going to add it in, so it's 22. Lose that one, carry 2 to the next column. 3 times 3 is 9, plus the 2 is 11, so I carry 1 into the next column. Not many people put that carry in there. 2 here, we're actually multiplying by 20, so it has a 0 on the end. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 7 is 14, so 4 and carry 1 into the next column. 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. Show that I've carried it. Add your digits together and you get 2 plus 0 carrying 1. That's 5 plus 1 is 6. And 8. So the final answer, 8602. Bit mean of them to only give you 2 marks for that. I think there was enough working in there that it possibly could have been worth more. Thomas. Right, midpoints. How do I find the coordinates of a midpoint? Yep.
The midpoint is in the middle of 120, so that's the half of 120, which is 60.
Okay, here's a quick question that's linked to it. What if I said this is at 2, 3, and this one's at 6, don't want that, 9. How would I find the midpoint here? Yep.
Well, it's like sort of like a fraction, you could say, because 6, 9 divided by...
Don't need to go that complicated. It's find the midpoint. Find halfway. So we got 2 plus 6 and half it. It's an average. Midpoint is an average of 2 points. Second point, 3 plus 9 divided by 2 gives me a point 4, 6. If you are actually to do it by counting, there's 4 difference. I need to add on 2. That's a 4. Here I've got a 6 difference. I want to add on half of that. That's 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. I can actually get that in multiple ways. But that is how you calculate midpoints. So find the coordinates of this midpoint P. Remember, first coordinate is x, y. X is before y. A across is before up. Or even right is before up. Or horizontal is before vertical. Alphabetical order, first number is the x. So we want to go halfway to 120 is 60. And halfway in the y direction to that 120 is another 60. 1 mark for that one. If we scroll it down, we've got to find where m and n are on these. Well, this is halfway in the x direction at 30, so I need to double it to give me a point 60 there. And in the y direction, I'm halfway at 50. Well, double it, I'm going to be at 100. So m is at 0, 100. Remember your order. N is at 60, 0. Order is important. If you've got the right number but in the wrong place, it's no mark. If you get your 100 and the 60 swapped round, you lose the marks. You may be allowed 1 mark if you've got both of them correct but the wrong way round. You misidentified what m and n are. Okay? Let's go for question 10. We need to work out the area of 2 straight areas, and we need to work out the area of this part.
1000.
2 straight lines cut the square, 4 rectangles. So, does it say anything about total? So that's going to be 3. That's going to be a 6. Diagram shows us. Oh, it's a square. So, how big is this length? 6. So the side of the square is 9. So the total width there is 9. How tall is this bit then?
7.
So to calculate A,
6 multiplied by 7.
6 times 7 is 42. Remember your units, centimetres squared as well, please.
No. Mr. Midpoint. Isn't that... Oh.
They said it's a square, so it's 9 by 9. This is 7 tall, this is 6 tall. So the area marked A is 6 times 7, 42. Okay?